It's a picture of me thinking. Yeah, the rest of the time I'm not. So, what can I say? Dear friends and family, well-wishers, and those who intend to make fun of me for being on a stamp. Thank you for being here, and thank you to the team at Canada Post who have put so much thought and effort into this phenomenon. I hope you had fun doing it, and that the great post office in the sky will give you 5 stars for your achievements. Upon receiving your kind invitation to this event, my sister-in-law phoned. "I may be late for your lunch," she said. "It's not a lunch," I replied. "It's a launch." "It's a lunch. I'm sure it says that." "No, it's just a launch." "Well, if there's no food, I'm not coming." The good news is that it's both. It's a launch lunch. The food is in the box. Think of it as a parcel post. You can open it at your leisure. Being on a stamp is an unexpected honor. So unexpected that it has already caused a rash of stamp envy in my peer group. Indeed, the first phone call I received on this subject was from a friend of my age, 1002, who exclaimed with a shocked horror that was only partly jocular, "But you're not even dead yet." To which the only possible reply is, "How can you tell?" I could have said, lots of people have stamps without being dead. Olympic athletes, cartoonists, Buffy St. Marie, the Queen. But this protest would have been to no avail. My lack of deadness is just the latest outrage I have perpetrated on the right-thinking Canadian public. And of course, there will be a price to pay. On a stamp, really, the nerve. However, will I live it down? My country is very good at sticking pins into heads it deems to have become too swelled up. Be prepared for a bunch of jokes about licking and sticking. Not to mention cancellation. And especially not to mention philately. But we won't go there. You may not know what that word means, but it has a suspicious ring to it. She's a philatelist, it will be whispered. I always thought there was something funny going on there. A younger correspondent has commented, "You're going to be on a stamp like a postage stamp? This is going to make you famous or something." I think he was intending irony. And a somewhat older friend adds, "But wow, on a stamp, thousands of people pushing a little image of your face into the top right-hand corner of an envelope." I hope the psychic effect for you is elevating. Vain hope. Fame in Canada is what Oscar Wilde would have called an unpardonable solecism of style. A stamp. How cringe. How eye-rolling. Even before this stamp event, some younger generation members, not that much younger anymore, were in the habit of referring to me as the evil A. Imagine how multiplied my evilness will be now. How do I know these things? I have a pack of invisible flying monkeys who listen at keyholes and hack people's emails. And that's just one of my evil powers. The writer Thomas King has a better idea. Sending his regrets, he says, "I hate to miss the opportunity to roast you. I know it's to be a tribute, but we know each other well enough to know that satire and sarcasm should be a part of any celebration, and Atwood on a stamp just screams for a little humor. I would love to be there, and for penance, I'll buy a couple of dozen sheets of the new stamp, stick them on letters that call for action on climate change and an end to racial gender discrimination, and send them to all the Conservatives on Parliament Hill. And all the Republicans in the American Congress and Senate. That should rattle the wind and shake the trees. A friend could do no less, which puts things into a little more perspective. Seriously, it's a great honor to find oneself on a stamp, especially if one has been a small child given to fishing used envelopes out of wastepaper baskets in order to remove the stamps from them. Yes, I was indeed a philatelist in youth. I amassed quite a stamp collection. That's how I learned about Iceland and volcanoes and palm trees. But as this was in the 1940s, I also learned that being on a stamp does not mean that you are a good and admirable person. It might in fact mean that you are a tyrannical dictator. It's too late for that in my case. I should have started earlier, but I will enjoy this moment for which I thank you again. Perhaps in the future, some young person will find my head in a wastepaper basket and cut it out and save it in a stamp album if there are still such things. And then even later, that young person might appear on a stamp in their turn. I hope so. As we enter the next decade, I also hope we'll get a firm grip on the climate crisis and work together to solve the many problems this crisis is already causing. That's a lot of hope. Good luck to all of us, and thank you again.
All right, Canada Post, they're honouring one of Canada's most influential authors, unveiling a new stamp of Margaret Atwood. Atwood penned more than 50 books, as we know. She also won the Booker Prize twice, in 2000 and 2019. Atwood saying it's a great honour to be on the stamp and, in her witty way, accepting.